Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This will be the start of a coloring project from A to Z using different types of materials, being Neocolor 2, Brushstroke powders, colored pencils, some glittery details, probably paints. I want to throw everything, at least not everything that I own on this page, but a lot of mixed media, so that you get an idea how I color some of my pages, because in the beginning of my coloring adventure I only stuck to colored pencils, but since my love for this hobby has grown, of course I've invested in some paints, in glitter materials, and now I mix them all the time. In the beginning I also didn't mix my pencil brands. When I started the page in the Prismacolor, for example, I continued with Prismacolor, and now I mix and match whatever brand suits my needs. So I've chosen the latest book of Karolina Kubikowska to work in because I love this art style so much. It isn't supposed to be a color along, but I think I like to watch people color even if I don't have the same book as they have. I think it's always interesting to pick up some ideas or techniques or approaches when coloring or painting or using materials. I really like to watch that, and I thought it was a nice idea to do it on my own channel too. So I have a fairly, or a beginning of an idea for this page, and I will explain that the latest few, or the latest weeks, maybe months, I'm always starting with coloring in my backgrounds, because after that I can decide on the rest of the composition. I think I did it with most of my finished pages, and then I get a really good balance of which colors to choose or definitely not to choose. So I will be starting with the background on this picture also, and for the beginning I'm working with Neocolors 2. I haven't tested them out on this paper yet. There is no gesso on this paper, so I hope the Neocolors will work as I want them to work. And after that I've put down some Neocolors, I will use some Brushstroke powders for extra detail. But for now I'm going to start with the Neocolors 2. And I haven't decided on a particular. I wanted a bit of yellow, but I don't have chosen my which of the yellows I want to choose. So I've grabbed my swatch book. That Sahara yellow is pretty light. Chinese green. It may be a bit vivid because I'm going to use some vivid colors for in the Brushstroke powder. So I think I will go for the golden yellow. So I'm going to lift my tray. I'm going to look up my golden yellow. Here it is. And then we are ready to go. So I'm just diving straight in. I'm coloring in like I do with my Inktense pencils also. I only use a bit of color here and there, and then I fade it out with water and a pencil, or with a water brush. And I really hope this will work out. like I want it to, or that the paper is reacting like I want. And I think I'm going to test already how the paper is reacting. Taking my water brush. Okay. Yeah, I have the feeling that this paper is taking wet media a lot better than book 2 was. Yeah, okay. So that's a plus, that's a sign for me that I can continue using the Neo colors. And I'm going to stop already. And I'm just going to put the golden yellow further in. And I'm not zooming in yet, because then I will have to move the book too much around, and if I do it like I'm doing it now, you get a better picture, or you can see almost everything that I color, I think, except maybe for this you're missing a little bit. But if I'm going way up or down, then I will move the book. But for now I will leave it like it is, and I won't zoom in yet. Is this a part of her? No, it's a leaf, I think. Sometimes I have to look quite carefully. Or is this part of a plant? I'm going to put some yellow here. I have been playing around a lot with the Brushos lately. Still have a lot to learn about them. I've used them on different type of paper. In this book I've used them, but I've also used them on Create Space paper within a Sherry Baldy book. That was a bit of a disaster. The water ran everywhere, and of course there was powder in my design. I'm just coloring in the bottom here. Is everything on camera? I'm going to lower the tripod a little bit because I'm too small to see my cell phone entirely. Is everything on frame? I don't think it is. Why am I so small? I have to put some things aside that I have more room to play around. Okay, that's better. Yeah, and that Cherry Baldy page was yeah, nearly a disaster, but I think I'm saving it with using markers. And I thought the Brusho powders would yeah, activate, or that the alcohol markers would activate the Brusho powders when they contacted or got in contact with them, but they didn't. To be safe, I've used my cheapest alcohol markers, not the Les Mouchés ones, but they weren't harmed, so that was a relief. So hope you don't mind me to color in this book. Of course you can, if you like some technique that I use, of course you can play around with the same one in a different book. It doesn't have to be this one exactly. So, and I'm not thinking about specific places to put color. I just, yeah, do what I think that's okay. And I've put down some protection pages. Although this book is single-sided, I always put some pages behind, especially when using the Brushot. I use a lot of water, maybe too much even. So I really have to be careful with what I'm doing. And I don't want to ruin any page that that's underneath. At first I had another picture than this one in mind, but afterwards I thought this was more, yeah, suitable to work with. And it's possible that I have to pause the video from time to time, because with water I will have to respect some drying times. But since my camera switches off after 23 minutes and 8 seconds, it's a silly number, but okay, now that I know that, I have to play around with an editor no matter what. So okay, I think I'm just going to put some yellow here, and then I will start yeah, going around with the water brush. So I've grabbed my Kuretake one. It's with a fine tip. I really like working with this one. And I will be starting at the top with working with the water. And I like the effect of a heavy color that fades out. And this paper quality is a lot nicer, because I had some trouble with my Neos in the second book. I don't think I've used them in the first one. So I'm just dabbling around, spreading some color. If I want to correct some areas, I can do that later on. And I hope everyone is doing well. It's Wednesday here today. I don't know when I will be uploading this. It can be quite soon. I'm not sure yet. It will depend on how much footage I have to upload. Maybe it's nice to split up this coloring in some different parts, because it's not always easy to watch a very long video at once. I prefer some shorter videos, personally, but we'll see how it goes. And this will be a very sunny page, and like I was saying, the nice thing is if you have colored your background, it's so much easier to determine your main colors for the rest of the picture. In the beginning of coloring, I struggled quite a bit with backgrounds, just because I couldn't find a decent one for the things that I colored in already. And yeah, I mean, when I do my backgrounds first, I stick more to a limited palette of color usage, and that really helps me. I did a picture in the Dragons in Nature special by Coloring Heaven earlier this week, and I also started with it was not a background because I used the brush shell powders to border the page, and the combination of those colors determined how I wanted to do the rest. So, and beforehand I was afraid of doing a picture in that book because I couldn't see the combo of the dragons and the leaves, and yeah, and just by using the brushes first, I knew what I had to do afterwards. So that's what I prefer doing now, and I think it will be something that I will keep on doing. So that's just a small, yeah, tip or maybe something that can help people who are also having some trouble with backgrounds or and now I'm quite talkative, or how do you say it exactly? But sometimes I'm a bit more quiet. From time to time I'm quite introvert, but I prefer silence and me coloring. I will never put some music over my videos. I don't like that myself much. I always turn my speakers down quite a lot when there's music, especially when people are talking. Then sometimes it's hard to hear what people are saying. But if I'm quiet, you will have to cope with silence instead of a music. But yeah, that's just my personal preference. And even if I wanted to do some music, I don't even know how to with some editor. I know you can put music on your videos, but I don't know how. I'm not although I work day in, day out with computers, I'm not an IT specialist or a mastermind in editing. So I really like the brightness of this picture, and I hope the brushes will have a nice effect when I will use those. I'm going to check. I'm 19 minutes in. I think I will quit this video within a few minutes because I can imagine that it is quite boring seeing me doing the same things over and over again. So it's possible that I will return with this background entirely done. I'm just doing everywhere the same thing, dissolving the color a bit and spreading it out. So I have to do something about those three. I don't like those. Maybe I will color some in extra, but most of the picture will be visible yeah, from A to Z or Z, or but for camera issues, or to avoid camera issues, I'm going to leave this video as it is, and we will see each other again for part 2, where I will be doing the brush show magic. So I'll see you again for part 2 a little bit later on. Thank you for watching this part already. Bye bye.